Alright, so now that we have our base template set up with all of our vendors, we're going to start on the navigation, and you can see that the default navigation we have is much different than this. Alright, so we need to change quite a few things here. So I'm going to open up the index page, and first thing I'm just going to change this title to business theme, and we'll start at the first nav tag here, and you'll notice that we have navbar inverse, which is what's making it the dark color. We don't want that, so I'm going to change this to default, which should make it white. Alright, and let's see, I gotta really look at this here. Navbar header, that's fine. And actually most of this I think is fine. For the link right here for the brand section, I'm going to add a class to it called logo nav. Alright, and we might as well put the logo in here so we can get rid of this text. And let's see, src, and it's in the img folder /logo.png. And let's see, for this UL right here, this UL class navbar nav, I'm going to put in another class called navbar right because we want it to float to the right. And let's see, so home, which is fine, but we want to add those subtext links right. Let me show you right here. These ones below the main text. All right, so we're going to put those in span tags. So after this home text, I'm going to put in span and put in main page. Whoops. Alright, and then the next one is going to be about, that's correct, and we're going to put a span tag. Yeah, alright, yeah, span. And we'll make this say, who are we? Okay, next one, I'm just going to copy this about. Alright, and we're going to change this to services, and we'll change the subtext here to what do we do. And then the last one here, let me change this link as well. The link here, contact, that's fine. We also want to add our span. And we'll just say get in touch. Alright, and I think that's pretty much it. So let's save that and see what it looks like. Okay, it doesn't look too pretty yet. We need to add our CSS. Okay, so I'm going to go over to style.css, and we're going to set the navbar class. We're going to set the minimum height to 90 pixels. And this up here, this body with the padding top of 50, you want to change that to 90 as well. And we also want to put for the navbar margin bottom 0. And we want to put an important there. And I think, actually, yeah, that's fine. So let's go ahead and save it, reload. Okay, so now you can see that the nav bar is bigger, it contains the whole logo. Now we have to work on this part. Actually, no, not yet. We have to do a couple other things. For the nav class, we need to give it a margin top of 18 pixels. Alright, and then for the navbar brand, we're going to set the height to auto, and padding top to 15, and set margin to 0. Okay, and then for navbar nav, I'm going to set margin and padding to 0. Alright. Now for, let's see, that was the UL. So now we'll do the LIs. So we want navbar nav li, and let's set padding top to 5 pixels and padding bottom to 5 pixels. Okay, so save that. Okay, doesn't look much different, but where we're really changing things is in the link. Okay, so in the A tag and as well in the span tag. So let's do navbar nav A. Actually, you know what? We want to do navbar nav li A. Alright. Padding. We're going to do 5. Actually, you know what? Let's do, we need to padding 20 pixels. Font size 18. And let's make it bold. And we also want a border on the right. So that'll be 1 pixel, solid gray. Alright, so what it did is it took all the text and made it bigger, so we need to now change the span text. Okay, so we'll say navbar nav li A and span. Okay, so span, let's set a margin to 5 pixels on the top, 0 everywhere else. Padding is going to be set to 0. I'm going to lower the font size to 14. We're going to display a block so that it's on its own line. I'm going to set the font weight to normal, and the font family I'm going to change as well. Oh, that's one thing we didn't do too, is we need to change the font or add our custom font. This is going to be Arial, and then text transform is going to be none. So I'll save that. Alright, that looks good. We want to text transform the main link though to uppercase. So let's go back to this and say text transform uppercase. Alright, now we want to get a custom font for this. We want the Oswald font. So I'm going to go to Google Fonts, and I think it is right here, Oswald. So I'm going to click on Quick Use, and we want, let's see, let's get the bold, and then we need to add this to our index page. So we'll add that up at the top. I'm going to put it right under the title, and then we need to grab this and apply it to any class that we want to use the font, which in this case is going to be the navbar link. Save. Actually, you know what? No, that's good. That's fine. Yeah. Yeah, that matches. All right. So now what we want to do is we want the active link to have a blue background and white text, as well as any hovered text, any hovered items. So to get that, let me just bring up Chrome Tools, which is F12, and I want, let's see, click on that, and I want to grab all these classes. Whoop. Copy, and let's see, I'm going to bring it in. And then I also want to add a class. I want to add navbar nav a hover. And we're going to set a background here. Okay, background, and the color is 038 3C0. And we're going to make that important as well. And then change the color to white. And let's save that. And there we go. Okay, the text for the hovered isn't white. So let's add an important tag to that. See if that works. Alright, there we go. So the navbar is all set. Now I was going to do the showcase, the Jumbotron, in the next video, but we have a little bit of time, so I'm going to try to squeeze it in here because there's not that much to it. So we want to go back to the index page and go directly under the ending nav tag. And I'm actually going to go above those section tags and create a div. Actually, you know what? Let's use section instead of a div. So section class Jumbotron. And we want a container. And in the container, we want to have a row. And in the row, we're going to have a column div. So it's going to be call MD7. And we also want call MD5. Okay, so inside of the 7, we're going to have an H1, and it's going to say clean business theme. And I'm going to just paste in some paragraph text. Alright, so it's a paragraph with the class of lead, and then we want a button underneath. And the button will say find out more. And we need to add a class to this. I say button, but it's actually a link formatted as a button. And we're going to use button primary and also button LG for large so that it's bigger than the average. Okay, and then in, let's see, the 5 column, we want just the HTML CSS logo, which I have to look at the file name. Logos.png. Alright, so we'll reload, And that's what it looks like. Okay, it doesn't look too bad actually. But we need to do a few things. We need to change the font for the heading. We need to add the background image. And also change the height. So inside of our style CSS, we are going to take the Jumbotron class and zero out the margin. And make that important. And we're going to set a minimum height to 450 pixels, and then we want to add the background. So it's going to be background URL, no repeat, and the URL is going to be img slash what did I name it? Just bg.jpg. Yeah. Oh, actually, we need to say // because we're in the CSS folder, so we got to go out one. All right, so let's check that out. Okay, looks good. So the H1. Jumbotron H1. Actually, you know what? We're going to, let's just do all H1s because I want all H1s to have the Oswald font and also be uppercase. So let's do text transform uppercase, and then we want the font. I'm just going to grab this here. All right. But the Jumbotron H1 I want to be bigger, so we're going to specify that. I'm going to set the font size to 55 pixels. Okay, save. And there we go. Actually, you know what? This is a little too bold, so I'm going to go back to the Google Fonts and uncheck bold, click normal, and then I'm just going to grab this and replace it. Alright, that's better. So the Jumbotron is done except for the animation, and it's extremely easy to do. We're going to animate both elements separately. Okay, so this is going to come in from the left, this is going to come in from the bottom. So we need to wrap this first in a div. So let's see, right around the H1 I'm going to say div class, and it needs to have a class called animated, and then the type or the effect, which is going to be fedInLeft. Okay, we wrap that. And then for the you know what, we need to have this go wrap around the paragraph and the link as well. So let me cut that. And that needs to go here. Alright, and then for the logos, we're going to wrap that as well. Okay, you want to have the animated class, and then this one is going to be fade in up. Whoops, fade in up. Alright, so I'll save that and we'll reload, and that's it. Extremely easy to do. So that's the navigation and the showcase area. In the next video we'll move on, we'll do the rest of the home page and the rest of the animation on the home page.